Hi guys, I wanted to do this video to go into a little bit more detail about how I created this masterpiece that is going to my swap partner for the Poochie Halloween Swap 2021. So I wish I had an extra one, but the dollhouse that I got from Dollar Tree is pink, purple, and white. And it's just this part. It's just the roof and then the bottom. That's one house. I did follow a tutorial, but I tweaked it because the one that they did is more ornate. And I would have done it that way, except that I'm mailing this out and I was absolutely terrified that the small pieces would break in the mail. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed for this one going into the mail, but I will link the tutorial below. So what I did was I took one house, I took the roof off of another house, and then I combined the two bottom pieces to make it look like a manor, like a haunted house. And I used black gesso from Finnabair. I did a couple of coats, like 2 or 3 coats at first. And if you saw, not my last, well, probably my last video, I was having a hard time because I thought that the gesso would be good enough because it has that chalky look, which is what I wanted. But gesso is a primer and you need to lay it down in order to receive paint. So I had already used my Faber-Castell Gelato crayon iced coffee, as well as the Finnabair Red Rust to make it look aged. But then I knew that the gesso wasn't enough. So I went back over it with gesso and some matte acrylic paint that I got from Michaels. And then I just did the same effects just all over. So you can see, like on the roof, you can see where I used the rust. Here's where I used the crayon. And I just took my fingers and just spread it around. And then what is behind this house is um, a piece of foam that I painted black. And then I used not only hot glue, but E6000 because I do not want this thing to come apart. So the back of the house is open. Like there's 3 levels to this house. And so, it's open. You could put like little dolls. I mean, the doll houses even come with 2 dolls and some furniture, okay, which I didn't need because I knew that I was going to back the house on something. Now, originally, I was going to back the house on this, which is one of those large tags. It's a metal tag, but see, you could set it on your desk. But I was thinking, how am I going to glue this house and then it would stand up and then there would be nothing to catch it. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing here. It's just all flat. Whereas this tray that I got from Target that I painted black, it's it's like a little shadow box. So it had a bottom. So I did that. I tried to use lights, like put the fairy lights in, but I couldn't get the lighting to be equal on every floor. So I think it looks nice. I think it looks haunted. This is my personalized project because that was one of the requirements for the swap. So my partner's last name is Abete Smith. And so I put Smith Manor and I backed the tray with, I painted it all black and then I backed it with this paper. This is the paper pad that I used. It's the Voodoo paper pack from Joann's. I think people shied away from it because of some of the images and then of the name of it. But what caught my attention was that one, it wasn't traditional colors, and I saw the skulls and I saw the cauldron. It wasn't until I got it home that I really looked at the images, and it's double-sided, guys. So if you don't like the image on one side, you can just, switch it over and use the other side, which I thought it was fine. And like I said, I love the skulls. It, to me, it resembles a lot of the Day of the Dead because it has a lot of skulls in the paper pack. So these rectangles here was just from a die that I have, like, those nesting dies that we have. And then I cut some letters out. Well, I didn't cut them. That's actually a die from, I think it's Artsy. And I believe I got that from Michael's. Just spelled it out. And I use my crayon again to go over the letters. So what I'm trying to do is copy the effects from the top to the bottom. Even these skulls right here, I use a little bit of the crayon, but you really can't tell because it doesn't really shine. So what I did was, it really wasn't giving the effect that I wanted. So I used my, I think it's the Versamagic inks. And I used brown and black. And I just took my dauber and just went around. Same thing with going around the sign right here. This paper was so light, but I needed some kind of contrast because here, this is gray, this is black, this is black. Everything is dark, and I wanted the dark look, but I needed something that would mimic this like gold. So this is also in the paper pack, but what I did was I toned the brightness of it down by using my inks and my dauber. So this functions kind of like a shadow box, and then you turn it over and she can hang it. She can hang it on her wall. So I didn't paint the back because I didn't think that was necessary. But here it is, guys. This is what it took forever. It took forever because of the paint, and so everything had to dry. And then I was trying to figure out how I was going to glue it to the surface. And I got the idea, well, why don't you back it on foam? Because you need something that's kind of sturdy. And then it's sitting up. So what I did was I painted the foam. I painted the foam black as well. So I just traced it and I cut it in the shape of the house. So, like I said, I will link the tutorial below. It is a little bit different than what I did. If I were going to do this and keep this as Halloween decor for myself, I would have gone all out. But like I said, I'm mailing this and I did not want the little pieces to fall off. So this is what I came up with. I really love it. And there are several tutorials out there on how to change these Dollar Tree doll houses into something else. Somebody has even done a gingerbread house. So that could be a really good idea for you guys. If you go to your Dollar Tree and you find these houses, grab them. Because you can always you can even make it a house for spring. But the next one that I want to do is a gingerbread house. And like I said, there are tutorials out there for it. So you guys, let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.